Excuse the distinct lack of uploads. This is an update video. I'll hold this, it's better. This is an update video. Last time I posted on my YouTube channel was the 28th of June, and today is the 4th of August. I went on vacation for 3 weeks, right in the middle of July. So the first week of July was getting ready for vacation. Then we went on vacation. Had 3 weeks, so I took a break from pretty much everything. But I figured I'd give you an update on the projects, shoes, my health. There's some interesting stories going on here. So if you watch the videos and you like the content, this is kind of a sneak peek of what's coming up in the next month. Please subscribe. You don't have to tick the bell, but just subscribe. 40 something subscribers off of 1,000, which means the videos are monetized, which means I can make no money, and it just makes my life and buying my tools slightly cheaper. Projects, the posts, Ponk. They're sealed, ready to go. More of a autumn project, but they're going. You have missed a couple of boards. One was a big one. It was a 20 by 15 by 2.5 inches thick, which is right here for a friend of mine called Amelie. And then I made a couple of I made an end grain board and an end grain side grain board. I was just playing. I didn't film it. I was on vacation and I was working slow. And when we get to the health updates, you'll understand why I was working slow. And as I was taking a break, I really didn't feel like filming it and faffing around. So that's going well. The table, which is here, I've just ordered a sander again from Ultimate Tools, another Mercaderos. I think it's a 4x3 flat sander, because I made a boo-boo in my sequence of actually building that table, and to flatten where I've done all the colourful strips, I needed a different sander. I did buy a detail sander thinking that that would help. It doesn't. So I needed a flat sander. That's on order from ultimatetools.ca. I did my research. It's a 4x3 with three different grits of Abranet sandpaper, and although you can actually get the sander cheaper from Lee Valley before tax, you have to pay shipping. And I did the math. By the time you add 50 sheets of, what is it, 80, 120, 150 sandpaper, you actually save $100. So Ultimate Tools, go there if you want to buy some tools and you're in Canada, because they're actually very, very good. As for camera stuff, which I didn't mention at the top end of this, as we were on vacation up in Gaspésie, I took 2 cameras. I took an M8 and I took the SL2S, and I'm going to talk about that experience. I generally picked up a camera to shoot with that day if we were doing something. And good vacation, lots of photographs, which I'll share with you fairly soon. That's quite interesting. Shoes. As we know, the Ultra Range Exo SEs, my favourite shoes that are bomb-proof. You can't get them anymore. So I've bitten the bullet and I bought a pair of Ultra Range 2.0. Now, I've done some research into the Ultra Range 2.0, where the original Ultra Range had the problem where I pointed out about the holes in the toes and everything else. It looks like they've put a little squidge of rubber over that area to fix that problem. But the ones I've bought are actually suede and shouldn't have that problem, and they look to be the closest to the Ultra Range SEs, so stay tuned for that. I also bought a pair of Steve Caballero Cab 4s because, well, my first pair of Vans was a pair of Steve Caballero Cab 4, so expect an unboxing and looking at those shoes fairly soon. Now we'll get on to health. I'm having a few health problems. One of them is this left shoulder, and I've been battling this since May. I have capsulitis in my left shoulder. I've been doing physio, and I'm currently waiting for a cortisone injection. to try and get the movement back in, because this arm will go to here rather than up here. So this is causing me quite a lot of pain. So it takes a little bit longer to do work. I have to pick and choose. Right now, because of my other health problem, I'm actually not in the workshop, and I won't be in the workshop until maybe early next week or the week after. When I was on vacation, I was sitting on the sun with the dog tied to a bench, waiting for my girlfriend to get lunch. It was a bit warm, so I decided to scoot along the bench, but I didn't realize how short it was, and I landed flat on my ass, scaring the dog, who ran off with the bench, and I jarred my bad shoulder. So I had to have some nice passerby help me up. We laughed about it. I thanked him profusely. We settled the dog back down, but I was still in the sun. So I moved to the bench that was in the shade. And when I sat down, the bench collapsed on me and did this, which doesn't look that bad. Here it is a couple of days later. Yeah, I got railed straight in the ribs. Finished that vacation, all good. Drove home from Gaspésie, which is about, I think it took us about 12 and a half hours to drive back, because the last part of the drive was actually through 3 massive thunderstorms, and it was 50 kilometers an hour, full wipers on the highway and hazard lights. It was really bad. Came back, found out that the basement had basically flooded because the street outside and the sewers had couldn't take the volume of water that came through. Apparently it was about 6 inches, so it came through, and then this entire area up to just here on the stairs on one side got completely soaked. This basement has flooded partially before. What I have done is I've picked everything up off of the floor, and before I left on vacation I unplugged everything and turned it all off. So there was no power cables on the floor. The only damage was I'd had some walnut actually just leaning against my bench, and some aromatic cedar just leaning here, little offcuts. They soaked up water, so I lost, maybe 3-4 board foot of wood, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but it did also, on the other side, allow us to force us to clean up the basement and get rid of half the crap. And some of the comments is, nice work, clean up your basement before you have a fucking accident. So the basement's nice and clean, so that was the thing. Now, with the rib, it was fine. Did it the second week of July. Second and third week, I was perfectly fine, and I was getting ready to go back to work. I was laying on the couch and I coughed, and it became painful. So Monday morning, rather than cycle to work, I stayed at home, because I do have the benefit of working from home. Teletravail, if you want. So I stayed home. Tuesday morning, I got up, I was still in pain, and it was actually painful to breathe. So I ended up in the ER last week on Tuesday. Great service, 5 hours, got seen, loads of x-rays. Basically, I have a bruised rib, and because I'd been in background pain, but not really knowing it, my right lung is partially collapsed. Well, not collapsed. It's not inflating as much as it should, because I've been breathing shallow. So I've been signed off to work from home until the 12th of August, I think it is. So basically, I'm working, but I'm taking it very easy. I had my first bike ride yesterday, like 2k to a shop and 2k back, very, very gentle. Didn't seem to cause any problems today, but I am taking it very easy. So, I'm alive and I'm kicking, so don't worry. So, there'll be slow uploads, but as I can't woodwork, I'm going to be doing a video this week about the MASL2S on vacation. I'll show you some photographs. And then later this week, the vans turn up, so I'll do an unboxing on that, whilst I can't do woodworking videos and I can't do much manual labour. That's it. So, don't worry, I'm fine. Just a bit slow, a bit banged up, but I'm doing all right. So, remember to subscribe. There's a button down there somewhere. And expect more content very soon. But I'm sorry for the lack of uploads. But health first. I don't want to fuck myself up and do more damage to myself, so I'm being very gentle, very slow. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you later this week for a video about cameras and photography. because I forgot the Sunny 16 and I started using it again, and my photos are way better. Also, I'm an idiot. Take care. I'll see you soon. I failed at going out of shot. I'm just going to stop because I can't go that way.